Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
We are joined again by David Price, CEO of Rockfire Resources, which is an Australian-focused gold and copper exploration company. Good day, David. How are you?
Hi, Rob. Very well. Yourself?
Not too bad, thank you. There's certainly been a lot of news flow since the last podcast, so my first question is, with the last set of results being released, can you give our listeners a brief overview of all the results that have been released? Which hole you were most surprised or pleased with?
Sure. We did 14 drill holes in the last drilling program, and we were very happy with the results of all of those holes. We started the drilling program by drilling an infill drill program. We added 4 additional holes into a new discovery site. And then at the end of the program, we drilled a very deep hole, hole 25, which, as the market may know, hit 177 metres at half a gram gold. That was a surprise. It was a good surprise. It was built into a geophysical anomaly. But to me, the best results are actually the deeper holes beneath our 41,000-ounce JORC resource. Now, the 41,000-ounce JORC resource that we published in July 2019 was reasonably close to surface. We had consistent gold at surface, and we put out an inferred resource. In the latest drilling program, we infilled that resource and we deepened that resource. And there were 2 holes in particular, hole 12 and hole 19, which in my mind speak volumes about the potential of this deposit. One of them hit 5 metres at just under 5 grams per tonne gold, and the other one was 4 metres at 4.2 grams gold, from about 61 and 65 metres respectively from the surface. Now, don't forget, that extends the mineralisation already to 61 and 65 metres respectively. Now, 61 and 65 metres from surface is still very much in the limits of any open pit potential. So I'm very thrilled with those results. I think that's a brilliant start for this project. Looking beneath the resource, we've got a long way to go to build this resource, and I'm looking forward to starting the drilling and really developing the resource as we go along. And 2020 will bring a great uplift, I'm sure, in the size of the resource that we're aiming for. And to recap, to me, the best results have really come from that depth extension of the near-surface resource.
All right, and Plateau looks like it could grow well beyond the 40,000 ounces reported in July. So what's the next stage there?
There'd be 2-pronged attack here, Rob. One is that we would like to be able to expand the geophysics, and that's one of the things we're planning in the near future. We did 2 lines of geophysics that looked at around the 500-metre depth mark, and they ended up with very nice resistivity and chargeable results. So we were very happy with the targets, the very large targets we have there at depth. Now, that geophysics is showing that the mineralisation is coming up from the east. So I want to move our survey further east and track these chargeable and resistive targets towards the east and see how they develop at depth. Now, obviously, that's going to give us some great information and great targets for deep drilling. And by deep drilling, I mean down to perhaps 500 metres, which would be diamond drilling rather than reverse circulation drilling. The other prong to the attack would be to track the mineralisation beneath the current resource. That's a logical growth for the project. And what we'll do is that we'll infill down to the 60 to 100 metres beneath surface to see if we can actually end up defining an open cut resource that would be potentially mineable.
Thanks, David. Rockfire's had quite a good run to the end of 2019 and looking forward into 2020, specifically earlier on. What can our listeners look forward to news-wise?
Well, 2020, I'd like to be able to start our program, and we are planning already to do the geophysics, as I mentioned earlier. That geophysics will look further to the east of the existing work that we've done there, the existing surveys, and it'll look at similar depths down to 500 metres and track this towards the east. So that's an exciting development that can happen fairly readily. The other thing is, of course, I'd like to get drilling as quickly as you possibly can, Rob. I have to check on availability of rigs, of course, and bearing in mind we're going to get some rain coming down up there in January in North Queensland. We want to be mindful of that. But I'm planning to get the rigs back out there and drilling as quickly as we possibly can.
Right, and the news out from Rock has been positive, and you've had a large chunk of warrants to exercise, so it seems you have a really supportive shareholder base. With that influx of unplanned cash, will that allow you to move forward at Plateau quicker than expected?
Oh, most definitely. And one of the things that I'd like to perhaps comment on a bit more detail, Rob, is these warrants. I mean, warrants are always issued at multiples above the placing price. And it's an expectation that the company will grow over a period of time. And as a result of our recent very successful drilling, it's intersected very good gold grades, we've ended up with the share price moving up from the placing price, which was 0.3 of a penny, up to the levels that we see today. So what it indicates is that our shareholders are voluntarily electing to exercise their warrants, and that is a great vote of confidence in the company. And we've exercised £250,000 of warrants now. Now, that's a tremendous start for us to start our drilling again. Don't forget that in September, we raised £350,000. We did a great drilling program with that money. We've already got another £250,000 in the bank. That's giving us a great shot in the arm to be able to get drilling again quickly. So, look, as the warrants get exercised, the company gets money, which we're planning to put into the drilling, and that's important for people to understand that. And it's very, very pleasing to have these warrants exercised. I think most warrants tend to never reach their exercise price. We're delighted that we're actually able to deliver on the warrants that we exercise. So I don't see this as a surprise to the market at all. Everybody was well aware that the warrants are out there. I think what surprised the people is that the warrant exercise price was reached so quickly, and that's a good thing. It shows growth of the company, and that's what we're looking for.
Good to hear then, David. Always enjoy talking to you, and I'm sure I'll hear from you in the next year and see how you got on.
That'd be great. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.